What is up, guys? It is the Bluebloods here, man. We are here with another 2 minute drill episode to wrap up your week, man. March 26th. It is a Friday, finally, guys. Your week is over. You can get into the weekend, man. We got March Madness coming up. We got awesome D2 football coming up. There is just so much to look forward to. So I'm hoping y'all's weekend is just as good as mine. But man, we got some drama today. We go back to Norman. We covered them when they got players getting in bar fights and getting absolutely handled in a bar fight, to say the least. So we're back with the drama in Norman. This time it's head coach Lincoln Riley, guys. And he created waves, man. He stirred up so much drama. Transfer portal, interconference transfers. We got to talk about it all today. So let's go ahead and talk about it. Lincoln Riley versus Chandler Morris, really kind of versus Gary Patterson, and just the public opinion overall, man. But this stems from head coach Gary Patterson saying that Chandler Morris, who just transferred from Oklahoma to TCU, is still awaiting his official release from Oklahoma. Without this release, guys, Morris is going to have to sit out a year. And during that year, we'll lose a year of eligibility. You can't use a red shirt. You can't use the COVID year, I'm assuming, either. Riley responded today, though. He made a statement in his Zoom press conference today, which he called, his opinion on interconference transfers a, quote, fundamental belief, and also said that, quote, they would be unhealthy for college football and bring many negative things that coaches around the country would not want in this game. And to say the least, guys, to say the least, this raised so many issues all around the country. And it caused backlash because this is a coach who has strictly, I mean, he hasn't developed a quarterback in his entire life. This comes from a guy who has made his head coach living off of transfer portal quarterbacks. Baker Mayfield, Jalen Hurts, Kyler Murray. Mayfield in particular was an intra-conference transfer. He did sit out a year, though. I'll give y'all that. I know that's the Oklahoma fans' comeback. He sat out a year, so everything's fine. Well, not really. Because since he was a walk-on, the NCAA changed their rule midway through his time at Oklahoma, and he got that year back. So he was granted that extra year of eligibility, which Chandler Morris would now lose if Oklahoma wants to play hardball and not release him to TCU. So this is not the first time Raleigh went through this situation, guys. Austin Kendall, I believe 2 years ago, went through a similar situation. He transfers to West Virginia, also in the Big 12, decided to release him after a small battle because he didn't want to face the PR, and he said that there was some type of personal connection. He did it for the person, so he did it for Austin Kendall. Well, today in his press conference, he talked about how great Chandler Morris was and how great his family was, but he is still on the bandwagon of this kid doesn't deserve a shot to play football next year. And listen, I just want to say this, regardless of the outcome, Gary Patterson made it very clear in his press conference today that even if Morris is granted eligibility, he is not going to be the quarterback of 2021. Max Duggan's back. He has been the starter. He's going into his third year, I believe, as a starter. So I would imagine this issue for Patterson and TCU and Morris is not he wants to be immediately eligible this year. It's that he doesn't want to lose that extra year of eligibility. He wants to be able to use that extra COVID year for his recruitment and use that extra red shirt so he has a chance to be TCU starting quarterback moving forward. That's not a big issue. And that brings us to the question, man. One that could be answered, I think, in 2 seconds. It could be the shortest segment all time on the Bluebloods, the 2-minute drill, whatever you want to say. I'll break it down for y'all, though, but it's should interconference transfers be allowed? Now, the obvious answer here is yes. It's obvious, and it's not a debate. It's not a question. It's not a concern that anyone can raise, in my opinion, that says these kids should not be allowed the other 13, the other 10, the other 9 schools, depending on how many their conference has. The thing to note here, though, before we get into this debate, guys, is that if the NCAA gives one free transfer to every kid that is in the NCAA, this becomes a moot point. This doesn't matter. This is expected to be passed. They've been talking about it for a while. It's expected to be passed this all season. If if players are given one free transfer, then Chandler Morris is using his one free transfer. Because of this, because the general consensus is that this is going to be passed, even the ACC knocked down their interconference transfer rule this summer or this spring and said, man, we know it's coming. So based on this prediction, we're just going to go ahead and get rid of it and be on the right side of history. Well, it looks like Oklahoma and Raleigh are going to take the hard road here and take all the backlash. So, you know, listen, I'll break down the argument. So here's some of the arguments I found that I've heard people use is that some people argue that teams could go into a recruiting battle. They know they don't have the scholarship that year. They know that this player is fully committed to the university and that they'll almost employ them as spies. So what they'll do is they'll get this player, say, I want you to come to Alabama, or I want you to come to Oklahoma in a year, but I want you to commit to our rival program, Texas, TCU, etc. Be in that system for a while, bring back any information that can help us, get a one-up on this program. I mean, what are the odds of this, guys? Let's be honest. And then the other one is that players could give out information to intra-conference schools that almost in spite of their previous program, where it's like they didn't want me, so I'm gonna get them back. I'm gonna give them insider information. Well, the odds of this I think are extremely low. Are some schools going to do dirty stuff? Absolutely, but there's already other ways to get the inside information. And when you play someone every year, man, you don't think Texas understands what Oklahoma is coming out in at this point? They don't understand the personnel. They don't understand how the way Lincoln Riley coaches. They don't understand how Spencer Rattler plays after playing him last year. I mean, there's a reason that in-conference football is different than those out-of-conference games because of the familiarity and the understanding of playbooks and schemes. I mean, how much knowledge can you build in 1 year that really is going to make a huge impact, that you're going to give them some type of insider information that's going to just flip the table and cost somebody the game? I would say it's very low, to say the least. And I got two main reasons that interconference transfers should be allowed. The first one's just a human factor, and the second one's my actual argument. But the first one is that schools within a conference, guys, are within the same geographical location most likely, and all these schools usually go after similar players, and so those relationships are built. Some players will transfer to stay close to family, to get closer to family if they transfer out. The staffs, the coaches, the family factor of these players, like being comfortable somewhere is a huge thing. And so if a player is comfortable with that area, that coaching staff, their family's still close, that is much more, I guess, promising than saying, I'm going to go from Oklahoma to Washington State. It's like, man, I got to go across the country all the way into the territory that I'm not familiar with, I'm not comfortable in. Instead of just transferring to TCU, I stayed over. I was still near my family, in the same conference, same weather, same general location, things like that. And odds are Chandler Morris was recruited by the TCU staff as out of high school. So I don't understand the argument here. Like, the most of the time, this is just being done for the betterment of the kid, the betterment of his family, the betterment of his mental health. And so to block it just seems, I hate to use this word, but I'm going to be honest. I mean, it's childish and it's petty and it's just dumb all around to block a kid from transferring just because you want to be petty. And the second one, man, this is where I'm going to get I'm a little hot take-ish right now, man. This is going to hurt some feelings. And listen, our YouTube videos, man, y'all are doing great, giving us all those thumbs ups. This one's going to get some dislikes. I know some Oklahoma fans and some other people who have other opinions are probably going to dislike this video, but why can coaches be able to move inside a conference? I mean, if I'm looking at a 1-2 year player versus, a coach Or, let's just even go a graduate transfer. A graduate transfer would have much more knowledge than a freshman like Chandler Morris who threw 3 passes. But graduate transfers are allowed to go anywhere, and you don't say anything about that. And, the coaches have a better understanding of not only the playbook and the schemes, they also could take away more from the program framework. They know a lot about the behind the scenes stuff that really can change a lot for a program. And so they can take any job anywhere at any time. And I just want to say this. This is how hypocritical Lincoln Riley is being. 2 of his offseason hires, guys, were intraconference coaches. He hired West Virginia coach Bill Benaball and Kansas coach Calvin Thibodeau. So 2 rival programs in the same conference, they bring those coaches in. And how is that different than Chandler Morris going to TCU? I'm waiting. Listen, let me know in the comments. I'll admit if I'm wrong. Give me a good reason why give me a good reason why these coaches can move within this conference freely, but a 1-year guy who threw 3 passes can't make a decision to better his future. I want to know. I really want to see where you're coming from on this. And for me, it's just another example of Riley, not to single him out, but other head coaches who have this similar opinion, trying to exert control that they should have never even had over a kid in the first place. These adults, I'm saying adults strongly, are making petty decisions to negatively affect kids who are making life-changing decisions and trying to plan out their future at 18, 19 years old. We're going to let these coaches sabotage their decision, sabotage their plan, sabotage their path to a better life for their family and them. It sounds nuts when you put it like that, right? I mean, it sounds like, man, that you put it like that, and now I kind of feel bad for the kid. And, nobody in the world would block Lincoln Riley from taking any other job. He's been a candidate for the Cowboys job. I mean, if Texas offered him and he took that job, Oklahoma wouldn't block him. They couldn't. You want to know why? Because he has freedom of movement. Even within conference, he could take everything he knows and learns at Oklahoma and apply it at Texas, and there wasn't a damn thing you can do about it. But because Chandler Morris threw 3 passes, you think he has some sort of insider knowledge and shouldn't be allowed to go play at TCU, and that you should take an entire year. You only get 4 years, and might not even have one this year to prove himself to NFL scouts that he deserves to go make money in the NFL, deserves an opportunity, and you're going to take that year away because you want to be petty. Listen. Riley looks really bad right here, in my opinion. He sounds like a bitter ex-girlfriend, bitter ex-boyfriend who does not want to see their ex succeed. Just to be honest with you, I'm going to be real with y'all here on this show. I'll always tell y'all the truth. We've had the pay the players debate. We've had the player movement debate, all kind of stuff. I'm keeping it real with y'all. He looks like a bitter ex-partner right now. And I promise you, listen, he would not have this stance if Chandler Morris was transferring into Oklahoma from TCU and Spencer Rattler wasn't in the picture. He finally has a quarterback he can develop himself. He doesn't have to go in the transfer portal finally. He finally did his job, which he's been slacking at. He's just been getting other people's work. He's the art dealer who buys the artist's work and then takes credit for making all the money selling that artwork. He ain't made his own artwork yet. He don't know how to paint. Well, we finally got Spencer Rattler. He's finally developing Spencer Rattler into one of the best quarterbacks in the country, I would have to say. But he didn't do it for the first few years he was head coach. And he'll get Nick Saban's work. He had to inherit it from Texas Tech with Baker Mayfield. He had to inherit Texas A&M's work with Kyler Murray. Listen, I just want to say this, okay? The reason this bothers me is because Lincoln Riley himself, Chandler Morris clearly wasn't in the plans for the future with Spencer Rattler and Caleb Williams now committed. Lincoln Riley made a decision personally that Chandler Morris was not good enough of an athlete, good enough of a quarterback to lead his program. If that's the case, why are you so scared, man? Why are you scared if he goes to TCU? You think you got better talent at the quarterback position. You think you got better talent than TCU all around. I need to know. I need to know what your thinking is. I want to know about this fundamental belief you got. I really do. You deemed him unfit to lead your program, but now you're trying to sabotage him, leading a program where they kind of believe in this kid. I'll never get behind it, man. I never will. And it's just a bit hypocritical for a coach who has built his whole career on the backs of transfers. To take a stance like this when your whole fame and like your whole perception of being a top 5 coach of college football is built on the back of that transfer portal, but now you want to change directions. I get it. His transfer set out a year. Baker Mayfield got his year back. Regardless of that, I promise you he would have fought if he could have, and if he didn't have a quarterback in front of them. And I think he looks like a hypocrite. He looks childish. He looks petty. And this is a ridiculous debate that we're having in 2021. And I wish Chandler Morris the best. His dad was offensive coordinator at Auburn. Y'all see the sweatshirts and stuff. I wasn't a huge fan of what his dad did this year, but I wish the best for Chandler Morris. I think he's going to do fine at TCU, and I think he's going to be one of the best quarterbacks TCU's had in a while. So I wish him the best. Lincoln Riley, do better. But guys, that wraps up our week, man. We had to end the week with a real hot take. We had to end it up with a big debate here. So let me know what y'all think. One, whose side are you on? Chandler Morris and TCU or Lincoln Riley and Oklahoma? And should intra-conference transfers be allowed? Let me know in the comments. Let us know on social media. What is your opinion and why? We'll share some of those next week if y'all get them to me. So, guys, we made the big announcement today. The 2-minute drill is staying on YouTube still. These will be posted the day after we record. I record these the night before they go up. Still be happening. But if you want to catch it live, interact live in real time with me, our Twitch, the 2-minute drill, moving to Twitch. We've made a post on all our social media. Go get that. It's the Bluebloods CFB on Twitch. Go subscribe to our Twitch channel. We're doing live streams live on there, man, so I can get more interaction with y'all. So make sure to move over to Twitch as well. And if you don't, catch these on YouTube Monday through Friday, as always, guys. Like this video, subscribe to our YouTube channel. We are almost at 60 subscribers. I told you when we get to the 100, 5 lucky first 100 subscribers are getting a Bluebloods merch bundle package with some 2-minute drill stuff, of course, because this is the kind of like the foundation of our YouTube channel now. Like this video, subscribe, guys. But listen, y'all have an amazing weekend. I'll have one too, and I'll see y'all on Monday. But for myself, the Bluebloods, and the 2-minute drill, guys, I am out.